How many times have we needed a gel pack? You've seen them. They're colorful little packs that are frozen, or you put in the freezer and let them get cold. But they're gel, so they're reusable. Some of them aren't even see-through where you can see them. Well, today we're going to make our own. Easy, quick, and you can keep them in the freezer. And what I like best about them, you can customize them just to make them your personal own. You're not going to need much. You will need some rubbing alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol is what you need, and it needs to be 70%. It does come higher and it does come lower. So make sure you have 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. And you're going to need some water, and something else you're going to need is a Ziploc bag. Now, Ziploc bags, not necessarily the name Ziploc, but a good plastic bag that you zip to lock. But you want to make sure it has a good seal on. As we all know, some of these seal better than others. So just make sure you pick one that has a good seal on it. Okay, and you'll need a measuring device. So let's go ahead and make our own gel ice pack. You don't need any specific water. I put mine in here just to make it convenient for me to have, and it doesn't need to be any temperature. Room temperature is perfect. So first of all, you want to make sure your bag is open. And this is not necessary per se, but I like to do it just to make sure I don't spill anything. So I will take my bag and I will put my funnel in here, and I will just hold it together with one hand, just like that or something, just to make sure I am not wasting it. So the first thing we want to do is put our alcohol in. And again, this is 70% isopropyl alcohol, any brand that you have. So I'm putting a 1/3 cup in here. This is a 1/3 cup measure. Take my little baggie, put my funnel in here. That way I don't have to worry about wasting it. Easy peasy. Now to this alcohol, I am going to add water, 2 to 1. So I'm going to start off with that, but I will be adding a little more. So I've got 1/3 alcohol in here. So I'm going to put 2/3 cup of water in here. So this is 1/3. And this makes 2/3. Now, I like mine to be a little bit more gel-like. So I like to add whatever size measuring device I'm using, 1 more half of that. So this is a 1/3 measure. I'll fill it up, just eyeballing it about halfway up. And we'll add that in as well. See, it's not full, it's just about halfway up. That's the consistency I like. You may need to play with it for a consistency that you like. Okay, now for the fun part. And when it comes to this part, you can use the funnel, but another easier way to do it instead of holding it is to grab a coffee mug and put your plastic bag in there. I should have done that in the beginning when I added the water and stuff, but it's more stable now. And even with the funnel, you can still use the funnel and pour it in so you won't worry about wasting anything. But as we saw in the beginning, that one was purple, they have blue, they have green. You can customize this for whatever color you want. If you have children, if you have girls, you might want to keep a couple of pink ones in the freezer for ready to use. I am using some blue, just a dot or two of food coloring, and that'll do it. You can really put as much or as little as you like with the food coloring as well. And I would get to the end and spill a little bit. I'm going to put 1 more drop of food coloring in here, just a little bit, because I like it a little bit darker blue. Okay, that should do it. Put out, and now you want to get as much air out as you can. Just squeeze it around here getting the air out and closing it at the same time. You need to get that air out of there. Make sure it's good and closed. Now you can kind of shake it around, and you want to test it before you put it in your freezer because you do not want a mess in your freezer. So using the same cup, gently turn it upside down just to make sure it is completely zipped before you put it in the freezer. And I actually have a little bit more air in here than I'd like, so I'm going to open it up just a tad bit, get some of that air out. That's better. And it should look like this. Now you want to freeze this. You can freeze it for a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours, but it's best if you freeze it for overnight. So I have one that I previously made because I always keep one in my freezer. So let me grab that and I'll be right back. Okay. This one actually has a little bit more liquid in it than this one. And you can make them how you want, but as you can see, this is a completed one. And it's still bendable. It's nice and jelly looking in there. We've had it in the freezer. This has been in the freezer for overnight. And that's best to use them. And you can use these for joint pain, or if you have something swollen or anything like that, that you would use any other gel pack for. Now, I am not a doctor, I am not a physician, so this is just what I do. I am showing you the gel packs that I make and how I keep them on hand. But always consult your physician before using them, or whatever you may need them for, consult your physician, because I am not giving you any medical advice. I am just telling you what I do by keeping these handy gel packs in my freezer. They're good for take-alongs, and they're good for accidents if you have children or grandchildren, or just for yourself. They work wonders. I would suggest that if you do use this, just like with any other ice pack or gel pack, you might want to wrap a towel around it before actually placing it up against the area that you need the gel pack for. So just use any kind of towel and make sure it's wrapped up good before you use it. And you can have pretty gel packs all the time. You don't have to worry about, oh, I don't have a gel pack, or you don't have to worry about grabbing up a bunch of ice cubes and putting those in a plastic bag and having them melt, because this is gel, so it will stay a little bit longer. It will liquefy if it's left out over time, just like the ones I showed you earlier, or just like this one. Okay, I'm Pam, and this is my POV.